Hello, Internet, and welcome to my review for Fairy Tail episode 282. When we last left our heroes, Gray had revealed himself to not be evil, and so had busted out Lucy, Happy, and Natsu after freezing the shit out of Gomon. And then they left. They found out that Gray and Urza had this whole plot. To, like, infiltrate Avatar that was all orchestrated by Jalal. And then they travel... Oh, we don't find out the Jalal part till today. But anyway, the gang all heads out to stop the purification plan. And that's where we open on this week. We have a bit more of the scene in the dungeon. But then the gang heads out to save the day. While they're there, Gray tells Natsu and Lucy everything about what's happened. And good on Natsu calling out Gray and Urza for, like, not telling Juvia about the mission. You know, I guess there was a reason for it. And that it is really hypocritical on Natsu's part, given that, again, as was brought up last week, he did the exact same thing to, or I think it was the week before last. He did the exact same thing to Lucy when he left for a year. Without telling her. But yeah, still, they should have told Juvia. If Juvia was, like, not going to get involved, like, maybe Juvia would have, like, interrupted the mission, I guess. I don't know. I think they could have told Juvia and have been fine. Then we find out the full details of Avatar's plan, which is to wipe out the population of this town, Malba, I think is what the town is called. And after that... the death or something will, like, bring in Zareth. And, like, it's nice to have what Avatar wants to do, like, laid out in the open. But, like, the fact that even the heroes are well aware that their plan just won't work. Even if they wipe out the town, Zareth is not coming. It's not how Zareth works. It just kind of contributes to their overall non-threateningness. You know? Avatar is not a group of threatening villains. As much as this show wants to make them threatening, you know, we'll see when we get to the fight with, like, the actual, like, named characters. It's just really lame. But you know what? As serious and as numerous as my problems with this arc are, hearing the whole gang say I'm fired up after so many years off the air does put a smile on my face. You know, the gang has been separated, anime-wise, since 2015. It's been 3 years since we've seen the gang together, since Tartaros ended. And you know what? I was hyped. Though there is a moment of confusion, and I need to bring up. Gray mentions that he was only in one branch of Avatar. And that, like, there were many other branches and an HQ. Which implies that, the people he was with aren't the head honchos at Avatar. So that begs the question, where are they? Maybe, I guess you could say that, like, Arlok, the masked priest guy, was, like, wandering around the different branches, maybe, but that's the closest thing you could say. Because the other branches apparently have, like, no leaders. No one who's not just, like, a robed mook. They're all, you know, pretty, like, low on the totem pole. The only people who put up any fight at all, and even then it's not much of a fight, which I'll get to in a little bit, is, like, Jerome and Briar and, what's-her-face, Mary. And beyond that, they're all just kind of mooks. And then so essentially the Avatar guys go to, like, storm the gates, where they're stopped by Natsu, Gray, Lucy, and Happy. And we get that shot of them standing in front of the gates of Malba, and I think, yeah, that is my thumbnail for this video. It's a great little shot. And I love that Happy, like, comes to the battle with, like, a club. You know, everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna, like, use our magic to win. Happy's like, I got a stick. I'm gonna beat these guys with that stick. And honestly, if there's any group of villains Happy could beat with the stick, it's these guys. They're pretty fucking weak. Um, and then as they're facing off against the front lines of Avatar, Urza pops up from behind the forces and wipes out the entire rear. And you know what? I stand by my claims that Avatar is, borderline completely non-threatening, but damn, this fight with all the henchmen is super fun. Like, it's a great fight. We have not, again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we have not seen these guys in action, in motion, in 3 years. And even then, they spent most of Tartaros, separated. When's the last time you saw Team Natsu fight like a unit like this? Like, the Grand Magic Games, maybe? I don't even know. I don't even remember. Tenro, maybe. Or, yeah, because I don't think I don't think they all fought as one unit during the Dragon War, the end of the Grand Magic Games, and they certainly didn't fight as a unit during the games, because Natsu, Lucy, and Wendy, I think, were all dealing with the stuff in the palace with future Lucy. Yeah, I don't think we've seen Team Natsu fight all together like this since maybe Tenro. It's been a long time, and it's great to see them all back in action as a cohesive unit like this. Especially once Wendy and Juvia get there. And I know Juvia's not technically a part of Team Natsu, but you know what? I'll counter for today. She counts. She's been with Gray so long. But anyway, that's really where the arc's highlights end. With that great, everyone taking down dozens upon dozens of henchmen. Because then we get to the actual, bosses, and none of them are very good. Urza, like Jerome puts up a bit of a fight. He seems to put up a bit of a fight against Urza. But then Urza, wipes the floor with him, no contest. We get to Briar and Gray. And I do really like the idea of, portraying Briar as that kind of, Naruto to Sasuke. Did all of our time together mean nothing to you? And, whereas in Sasuke's case, Sasuke's like, yeah, it did mean something to me, and that's why I'm doing this, for the Mangekyo and all that, which is a whole other... Not the show to go into the details of the Mangekyo. But Gray's like, of course it meant nothing to me. Do you really think I'd be pals with a pack of murderers? It's one of my favorite Gray moments in the series, and I forgot it was in this arc, actually, which is kind of weird, because there aren't really any other times it would be. But it's just a really funny moment. And then we have, her. Hello. I think Mary is her name. And, virus magic, which is her abilities, create viruses in the body. And she describes it can even, go for the brain and be, a long, slow death. And that could be really cool. If only it wasn't being used for the stupidest effects she could use. She gives them stomach viruses. Alright. She tries to beat Lucy and Taurus with a stomachache. This is why I don't like this arc. This is why I don't like the actual, villains of the arc. They're all super lame. Fairy Tail has some great henchman fights, but, when it gets to these guys, they're just kind of stupid. But luckily, Wendy shows up with an even bigger Big Damn Heroes moment than Urza gets earlier on to, save Lucy and Taurus from their, shitty status conditions. And even after all these years, I'm still not entirely sure if I like the idea of, Wendy's abilities are always, couched in, video game terms. She talks about, their status ailments are cured, and they can't be afflicted by more status ailments. It's all very, JRPG terminology. But yeah, after her abilities are stopped, Mary's very quickly beat. And then Juvia shows up to help Gray out with a fight with Briar, after Briar, splits into 4, and one of them declares her love for Gray, and Juvia pops up oh, are you a love rival? And, wipes out the one Briar. It's a really funny moment. Even if it does, again, make Briar seem completely non-threatening, because right after that, Gray was like kind of struggling to land a hit on her, and then immediately after Juvia kills the one Briar, Gray like snaps his fingers, and like the other three are just like frozen solid, and like they're done for the fights. And yeah, that's kind of where the episode ends off. Natsu like breaks through the invading forces and to face down Arlok. Like, yeah, you'll never win because we're fairy tale mages. And, you know, the only members that are left are Arlok, Abel, and D6, I think. And I'm pretty sure, at the rate we're going, next week we'll end the Avatar arc. Along with bringing us one of late Fairy Tale's most infamous scenes. Which I'm not going to go into. Manga readers, you all know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Not really looking forward to next week. But you know what? All in all, this was actually a fair bit better than I remember it, you know? I mostly remembered the very disappointing fights with the Avatar bosses, you know, Urza versus Jerome, Gray and Juvia versus Briar, Lucy, Taurus, and Wendy versus Mary, which are all super lame. But, like, the fight with the henchmen is super fun, and it's really Fairy Tail at its best. Not like as like at its peak best, but like it's Fairy Tail at what it does best. So yeah, it was better than I remember it. I hesitate to call it good just because I have to deal with, you know, Jerome and Briar and Mary. And yeah, next week is not looking to be a great episode. But next week will make us finished with all this crap. So yeah, Avatar ain't got long left to live. But I think I'm going to end this video off here. We actually not yet. We did not really get any movement on the council. Levy and Gajil and Lily and all of their guys are still who knows where. I don't remember, but they'll probably get here before the arc is over. Help out with the cleanup of Avatar. But yeah, beyond that, this was an average episode. So I'm going to leave this off here. Hope you all enjoyed the episode and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass and I'll see you in the future. Bye!